Hey everybody, my name is MetalMusicMan.
And I'm Professor Lex, and it feels like we wait longer and longer for the count in.
Every time I keep you guessing. Sometimes
Yeah,
I gotta hold in the air. I have to like prep it. I have to consider my whole life, and then I want to burst in. But I also specifically want to wait. If you're wondering the actual reason for that, I don't know how much video editing you've done, but it's so that the audio graph is very obvious when it starts. Because we're sitting here, we're talking, we're shooting the shit, we're like, hey, butts and farts and stuff, and we're just talking. So I need to have like a pause, and then the longer that pause is, the more obvious it is when there's an immediate. When I go, hey, it's really loud, and so it just shoots up. So I know when I go to grab the video, I
practice that.
No, I practice nothing. Hey. This is like when this is like. I mean, if by practice you mean I've done it 31 times now, because this is you didn't let me finish. This is episode 31 of the Metal and Lex podcast.
What an excellent prime number.
Yeah, that whole intro that I normally do that you just royally ruined and we're no longer friends for. That whole thing is like, I mean, I practice it in so much as that like I decided by like the 4th or 5th or 6th episode that I was just going to do some varying riff of that every time. So I guess that counts, but yeah, is this like when Jeff said he thought that I like had pre-recorded sound bites when I did this? Like
the olds
specifically in whatever episode that was. So yeah, no, I don't practice that hard. I mean, other than, general, neurosis of just thinking in my head, neuroses, excuse me.
Yeah, they're plural.
Just thinking of, because there's not only one.
There's so many.
There's not only that wasn't a grammar correction. That was a count, an affliction count correction. But yeah, other than that, I mean, I go over everything I ever do or say in my head 24/7 unendingly until I'm drunk enough that I don't do that anymore. So I mean, as much as I practice anything in my life. Does that answer your question?
Yeah.
Oh God! The motorcycles are farting today.
Oh, good.
It's 85 degrees out, and I refuse.
That means the chuds are out.
Well, the chuds are out on their fucking motorcycles, of course, but I also refuse to turn my air conditioner on. So I'm just sitting here with my cat, sweating, with all my windows open, with some fans
Your cat's
on.
Not sweating.
I'm like, bro, listen to this fucker. It's brr, brr, brr. Anyway, I hope he picks up on the podcast, because it certainly is picking up in my butt. It's rumbling.
There's a little bit of a hiss, and also just like some scattered noises that could be like your cat with indigestion. I'm glad that it's not as bad for everyone over mic, but goddamn, I do hate me some bikers. Anyway, why is it 85 fucking degrees in October? I hate it. I was wearing sweaters. Every year, I put a selfie on Instagram and cross-post it to Facebook, and I say, it's sweater weather, we made it. And I was going to do that, and then it's fucking 85 degrees outside. It's like 50 in the morning, and then it's 80 at night, and then it's 30 in the morning, and then it's 80 at night. I was like, what the fuck is happening?
I don't like it. I was ready for the fall weather, and now, we're back.
Sweater season.
It's awful. So anyway, words, things, stuff.
Yeah.
That's so. Go ahead.
Oven?
Yes, Alex is making bread. Yeah. That's right.
Yeah.
Tell us about your bread, Alex.
Okay, so it's a modified ciabatta recipe, right?
Okay, I like me some ciabatta.
Instead of making them into the little rectangular, little loafy guys, I've rolled them into balls, into boules, so that they can serve as bread bowls for chili that my dad is making.
Boules?
Boule, boule.
Okay, sure. I know what that is.
I think that's how it's pronounced.
I know it.
If I'm
wrong,
what it
is.
Sound off.
It's a word I've heard many times, and I'm very familiar with it. Please continue on.
You know the little round loaves. If it's a rectangular loaf of bread, that's a dinner loaf, right?
Sure.
Okay, but if it's a round loaf, one of those little ovular boys,
it's a boule.
Oval. It's a boule, I believe, unless I'm saying it wrong. But no one's corrected me yet. So
I'm
really,
Googling
at this point, it's on other people.
Boule.
Boule.
I'll be damned if the first thing that comes up isn't a little round sourdough boy. I've never heard the word boule.
I guess, strictly speaking, I've never heard it either.
Okay, now here's why. This is just your ridiculous hipsterness, basically. The number 2 result is a round loaf of crusty bread. Okay, he ordered a sourdough boule. But the number 1 definition of it, and which is I'm pretty sure why I've never heard the word before, is a metal ball used in the French game of boules. So this is like a fucking Frenchman slang. This is why this is so removed.
Boulet, then?
I don't know. Maybe boulet.
Give me the.
It's a very French word.
Well, yeah, it's a French practice. No, it's pronounced bowl.
It is pronounced bowl.
BOOL.
You know, far be it from us not to have the best topics of all time on this podcast.
They're saying
bowls, bowling.
It's saying bool.
Bowling.
I went to Google and they've got a little. I Googled just the word bool and it's got the microphone that's got the sound waves coming out of it.
Like the universal microphone
volume
icon
indicator
of volume-y things. Sure.
Yeah, if you click that, a woman will say bool real slowly and weirdly.
I think you just awakened something in me. Can you do that voice for the rest of the podcast?
Yeah, but slower.
So anyway, I'm making bread for my family.
Damn, have you ever seen
You didn't know it was going to be that kind of podcast.
Have you seen Les Miserables?
I've seen the new one where for some reason everyone liked Hugh Jackman and said that Russell Crowe was awful. And I have never understood it. I feel the complete opposite way. I remember watching it and Hugh Jackman is like the most over-singing, obnoxious,
Hugh Jackman.
He's breaking all of the suspension of disbelief. He's just like, I'm a man and I'm fucking sad about things. And he's just going on and on. I'm like, this is awful. Like, I hate every second of it. Whereas Russell Crowe, I don't like musicals, but Russell Crowe is kind of like, I'm kind of a dude. I'm kind of sad. I'm not over singing all my lines. You can kind of connect with me because this is more real. And I was like, this is
he's an actor.
Yeah, dude. I thought Russell Crowe, I do not like that movie, but I thought Russell Crowe killed it. He killed it. And then I watched it. I watched all the reviews and all the critics were like, fuck Russell Crowe. That guy sucked. But Hugh Jackman was amazing. I have never felt more opposite after seeing a movie other than the movie Midsommar, which is one of the worst movies I've ever seen in my entire life.
What a
is
fucking
awful.
Horrible movie.
It is awful. Why do people like it? I don't understand.
I can't.
Dude, sound mixing is all fucked. It's all it's the worst
level.
Dude, yeah, it's bad for multiple reasons, okay? Not the least of which, it is one of the worst audio mixes I've ever heard in my life. They're in the car and they're just kind of like, hey, we're in the car, we're doing things, we're gonna go to a place. And then they go to somewhere and the music's like, and it just comes in and everybody's like, dude, it's supposed to be,
jarring.
The contrast.
All right, between the loud and the quiet.
Fuck you. It's too much. I can't hear what they're
overstimulated.
I literally can't hear what they're saying. Yeah, and then
as an expert in loud things,
because I have it turned up so loud, way past 40, past 40, which as we all know is the maximum volume. Yeah. It's so loud when the music comes in. But then also just the way the characters acted in that movie, I couldn't deal. The way that they're just like, oh, horrible things occur. And then everyone's like, hey, it'll be fine. We're not going to be weird about it. It's a culture difference. No one acts like that. And everybody's like, well, they were on acid. No, they fucking no one.
Not that much acid.
No one reacts the way that the people in that movie reacted. So I got about, spoiler alert. Cease now.
If you plan to see Midsommar, give up.
I mean, don't watch it. Don't watch it. It's awful.
Don't see it.
But I got to where the fucking old people jump off the cliff and they sort of die but don't, and then they have to kill them, and it's awful.
Oh, except
then they die. Yeah.
Yeah.
And I'm like, okay, this is awful and ridiculous. And I was like, okay, I obviously knew something weird was going to happen. Sure. So they're in a weird culty thing, and okay, now we're gonna see what happens when they're meaning the main characters confronted with the craziness of what's going on. And the one chick is like, oh my God, everybody died. And then everyone else is like, it's okay. It's just their culture or whatever. Nobody.
The Swedish people are?
Dude, nobody would fucking react to that way. No one. And then they're like, well, there were anthropological studies. I don't fucking care.
I'm going to have to give the two characters a pass. The two characters who were here to study this. They knew what was happening.
Okay, no, but see, here's my problem. That's still a problem. And here's why. Because literally no one would go into that and then not tell the other people that was going to be the case. So if they had gone in, and so that's my problem. There's so many problems with maybe the two anthropological people, anthropologists, not anthropomorphized people. We had that podcast. Not the furries. Maybe the two anthropologists, maybe they were fine with it, but then they would have definitely, being anthropologists, they would have told The other people.
Cool people, yeah.
They would have told them and let them know ahead of time. And so then everyone would have known it was coming. But they didn't. And so the whole movie doesn't work. I watched for maybe 10 minutes after that. And then it was like the boyfriend trying to console her it's just... And I don't know.
Did you finish the movie?
No, I could not finish it. I hated it so much.
Gets so much worse. You're at the good part of the movie.
I'm so glad then, because I seriously saw like the right on the wall. I was like, this
gets worse and worse.
Well, that's good. I'm glad I made the right choice, because it just kept like, it was pissing me off so much. And like, I was literally just like, by that point, I was like, there is nothing this movie can do that is going to redeem itself from this point. And I was right.
You're going to say there's nothing you can do that could get worse than that.
No, that could redeem it. No, I that's why. So I normally finish movies even if I hate them. But I've not finished
one movie.
I was so annoyed as like an audience member, as like the viewer. I was so irritated. I just hated so much about it.
It was a bad movie.
I feel like I'm on another planet.
Defend it for you.
Yeah.
Well,
anyway.
It's the same director, writer, whatever from Hereditary, which is another movie people like to jerk themselves off over.
I have not seen Hereditary, and I hear it's amazing. I didn't know it was the same director, and now that you say that, it makes me think that it is awful. Okay. But I will have to watch it and see.
Hear me out. The first like half of the movie, when that
actress is amazing. Toni Collette. Toni Collette, I think, is the actress. She's amazing.
Is she the mom, I guess? Is she mom age?
I believe that's the case.
She's fine in the movie. Yeah. She's not the problem I had. It has a drop about halfway through the movie, maybe a third of the way through the movie. And then the characters continue to react to the drop. And after that happens, shut it off, call it a day. That was a good movie you saw.
But what, it just keeps going? And
yeah, it keeps going for an hour. And they're like, hey, you remember all that good faith we earned? Well.
And they just shit on it.
Yeah.
I'm curious. I'll have to watch it, because I don't know. Do you ever feel though like you're just from a different planet than everyone else when people have like reviews like that about? I was watching some
about open world games. Yeah, I do have that same problem.
I'm being specific to movies here, Alex.
Oh, sorry.
Try and stay on the rails. My God, man. No, I was watching something about The Thing recently. There was some review of The Thing.
1984's John Carpenter's The Thing.
One of the best movies ever, in my opinion. Yeah. I don't know. I fucking love that movie.
No, it is.
It's just it's a fucking masterpiece.
It's timeless.
Apparently it was not well received when it came out. Like, shocker. Sure. Because John Carpenter, for whatever reason, has always been cursed in that regard. But then somebody compared it to, and I know you're not a big fan of this, so we'll see. Continue to derail or don't until our main topic as you want. But I know... you're not as big a fan of Joker, but I feel the way.
No, it's bad. Yeah.
See, I think it was pretty good, and I'm not saying it's as good as The Thing, but it was brought up in this.
It's
not. Sure, it isn't. I mean, but I think it's a pretty fucking good movie. I'm not gonna lie. But the point before we get too derailed on that, the point is that was like mentioned in the same breath, because I guess the author of this particular thing I was watching felt that it was like the same deal as The Thing, where like it's so, which I kind of agree with. I think
it was pretty well received. I think I'm an outlier.
You're not, depending on which echo chamber you're in. So, and that's sort of
echo chamber.
Well, okay. So sort of the reason, like one of the reasons The Thing was like so panned initially is because it was so like overly gory. Which, to be honest with you, I'm not generally a big fan of things that are overly gory, but I think
do it so well. And
it's done extremely well, both from an effect standpoint and from like the cinematographic standpoint cinematographical standpoint of using the effects for reasons. But then also, like, it does just make sense, like narratively, like the way the thing, the alien beast works. It would be really gross. So like, there's a lot of things it has going for it. I think Joker. A lot of the negative criticism, and there was a lot in like the super liberal whatever Twitterverse of like, oh, it's glorifying all the shit where people are like, they're going to shoot up theaters, and then it was like, oops, it turns out the movie's about fucking mental health and classism and fucking all this other shit. And so I feel like at least a lot of the criticism I saw about it early on was sort of like cart before the horse. Like, we just generically don't want this quote unquote incel movie.
Problematic incel movie.
Which is stupid, because that's not at all what the movie's message is about. Yeah, okay.
No.
So, okay.
That's not the problem I have with the movie.
Well, and given that, I respect your hatred of it, because I don't respect that argument. That is a fucking stupid argument, and I don't understand why people make that argument about that movie. So anyway,
I don't think that we needed a Joker movie where it's Rise Up or whatever that feeds directly into that r/gamers Rise Up thing. I don't think that we needed that, especially in the current time period. But also, I'm not going to hold that against the movie.
Yeah, I don't really think a movie owes anything to the current time period. I feel like that's sort of like if you have
the point sometimes almost.
We talked about I don't know, maybe, but like we talked about on one of our podcasts, I forget which one it was, but it was where Roger Ebert is like reviewing some movie about Asian people, or not about them, but where it's like a predominantly Asian cast. And then some guy in the crowd is like, hey, fuck you guys. Some like dumb white dude is like, fuck you guys for portraying Asian people badly. You owe it to Asian people to portray them as good citizens. And Roger Ebert was like, what the fuck? Fuck you. That's literally the opposite of progress. Like the whole point. That's kind of how I feel about those remarks. Like when you're talking about like, do we need this movie at this time? It's like, I think any good art doesn't care. I don't think, and I don't think it should, because if it did, then it wouldn't be real. It would be trying to like make
into that social situation.
Yeah, and I'm not saying they don't do that. Yeah, no, that's fair.
Get Out really did play on that and did it perfectly.
God, I think Get Out's pretty overrated.
Oh well,
I think. Oh no, sorry, no, sorry, I'm dumb. Get Out is great. Us is overrated. Us is. I mixed them up.
You're wrong.
I mixed them up.
Say that.
You think? I think Us is a little overrated. I mixed them up though. I think Get Out is perfect. You're absolutely right.
Get Out is a perfect movie. Beautiful and very timely too.
Perhaps the best thriller in the last decade or multiple decades.
More.
Yeah, perhaps the best thriller in several decades. I don't know why I confused them. Yeah. Anyway,
we can continue to scream about Jordan Peele and.
Oh,
movies.
Is it bread time?
Let me look at my bread. Yeah, I will be right back.
All right, go check your bread out. I'm going to keep talking, but I'll probably edit this out, but maybe I won't. We'll see how long Lex is gone. But here are some insights into the inner workings of my mind. Butts, video games, alcohol, cats, existential dread, nihilism, the end. Welcome back.
Thank you. I just got back from tending my bread, and I told you that they were little bread bowls, and they're about the size of my fist. And I've got big, meaty hands, but they're
those
not like
big, meaty hands, and the children would climb on them in the pool.
I got hairy arms. Fuck me.
I'm just gonna try and find a way every podcast to beeline into Joe Biden, a Joe Biden reference / impression. Oh my God. So anyway, your meaty hands that the children would climb on, claws. They make bread bowls, or made bread bowls just now.
Yeah, you can't. I don't know. Maybe we'll just serve them as dinner rolls instead of bread bowls. I don't know. Okay. We'll figure it out. I'll keep the podcast updated. You guys stay tuned for a week.
Stay tuned for bread
comment,
updates
and subscribe if you want to know.
Yeah. While we're liking and commenting and subscribing, I would like to take this moment. If you're listening right now to this podcast and you're one of the 2 listeners, we do thank all of you who are our real life friends. Who
Jeff.
Pharaoh, Jordan, my friend, my friend Wilson.
Hey, Wilson.
Other people who I'm forgetting, my nephew. I don't know. Maybe think about someday sharing this link on a social media site, because it would be cool if this ever went anywhere. No one on my YouTube channel gives a fuck about it, which is okay. But it's not the content they expected. I don't care, because it's the content I want to make. But the reason I'm bringing this up is I did recently post our discussion from last episode about Grand Blue on the Grand Blue subreddit, and people kind of liked it a little bit. So anyway, just a thought.
We get any feedback? Did anyone say anything, or just upvotes? One person
corrected something I said that was incorrect about the patch notes.
That's feedback.
Which is good. That's engagement. I said thanks. So, not a lot, but it's just, one of those things. I feel like I haven't been enough of a promotional whore about this podcast lately. Like at this point we do have 30 episodes of backlog. So yeah, I don't know. If you thought Vorbear was funny or whatever your favorite little thing was, maybe link it on a little thing. Anyway, or don't, and just keep listening and have a good time.
No, it's fine.
Doesn't matter. Anyway.
do you. But
you
if
do
you
you.
Can do us.
Yeah. If you can do us, definitely do us.
As well. But do you first.
This concludes the self-love section of the podcast. So anyway, our actual topic of the day, other than bread bowls and masturbatorial
and horror
things,
movies and
random movies. That was God, I'll be goddamned if we can't fill 25 minutes of time without any issue whatsoever.
Holy cow, yeah.
2022 technically, but still.
Well, yeah, because I did have to tend the bread.
Oh, and that was like a minute. Yeah.
The little red hen would be so disappointed or excited. I don't know.
It's been a while since
do you know the story of the little red hen?
It sounds familiar, but it's not.
Okay, so the little red hen is trying to make, we'll say, tiny bread bowls. And the little red hen is like, hey, can somebody stop and get some flour? And the cow is like, nah, fuck that, I'm busy. And the sheep is like, nah, man, I'm playing Skullgirls. I can't do anything about that. And the badger's like, no, fuck you. But then then the bread bowls get made, and the little red hen's like, all right, who's ready to eat? And everyone's like, ooh, me, ooh, me, ooh, me. And the little red hen's like, no, fuck you. You didn't help me. At least that's how I remember it.
What a children's story.
What a children's story. If you guys want that, more books that I can only loosely recall, you let us know.
Yeah, that's a good little mini segment. So anyway, our actual topic
combo videos
is combo videos, according to Lex. Lex is he's going to talk to us about some combo videos.
I'm going to extend. Okay, so. I am, and I have found through discussion that Level 40 Raichu is as well, the type of person who likes to look up tech videos and match videos and extrapolate. Basically, this whole thing came from a
Level 40 Raichu. We didn't thank him in our thing.
Thank him.
Thank you.
We were talking about the way that we learn how to play games, and it turns out that it's very similar, because like I'll look up all the tech videos. That's how I got to be good at Marvel 3. I just devoured all of the tech videos, so there was no circumstance, no setup, nothing that anyone could do that I hadn't already seen before and knew the counter to.
Yes, you are an obnoxious database of informational things,
exactly,
with odd specificity.
But as we both know to be the case, I from my studies and you from your creative endeavors, there are good combo videos, tech videos, and then there are bad combo videos, tech videos.
Oh, yes.
And I think just like on a general note, the entire way that I learn games doesn't work anymore, or doesn't work like it did. Because I would
it no longer works the way that it once did.
That I wanted to, yeah. Because it used to be you would go to shoryuken.com. You would go to the forums, you would go to the character forum for your character, and then you would look for the tech thread and then just read through. But like people don't use forums anymore. Forums were outlawed. Forums aren't
but it still works. It still works. You just hate Discord.
I do hate Discord, but if you go to Discord and it's an active community that has people creating good content who also then pin the content, then it's not so bad.
Right. Yes. If they curate the content by pinning it in the character specific section of whatever games thing, it can work. Yep. If they don't, lol, fuck you.
And I can't play Marvel Infinite.
And that is a super fair comparison to the forum, because the difference between a forum and a Discord is that in a forum, when everyone's talking about everything, if everyone's talking in this one thread, it keeps that thread popped up and the original post with that info stays relevant. But in Discord, when everybody starts talking, it just pushes that message away. And if it's not pinned, fucking bye forever. So I don't think it's totally gone, but with that added layer of specificity, Discord does make it more difficult than a forum. I agree.
And like the people who have any like neat or interesting ideas usually just post their shit to Twitter, which sucks.
Twitter has the exact same problem as Discord. It's actually worse because you can't pin it. Yeah, you really basically have to just know who to follow on YouTube at this point, and then you have to know who to follow. You have to know who to follow on Twitter. So they retweet the right Discord. They retweet the Discord, or they retweet the other YouTube creator. I agree though. It's much harder, even considering like where I'm at on, we were talking about previously, like how nobody, cares about this podcast on my YouTube channel. Mm-hmm. In the past, I think could have just made like a separate channel for this, or even maybe found an additional audience and kept with my current channel, because everything I did to grow my YouTube following was mostly organic through YouTube and Reddit. But that's harder to do now because of exactly what you're talking about. Because even with Reddit still existing and working the same way,
you've got saturation.
Yeah, there's oversaturation. There's more people doing it. The YouTube algorithm works differently, which is the biggest thing. The YouTube, it used to be really good at like finding new content that was exactly what you wanted, and now it's just so. I don't know what they've done, but like it's so focused on the fucking clickbaity, like fucking boob thumbnail, whatever the fuck, like giant face making a stupid expression.
I believe they call it soy face.
Yeah.
That's my understanding.
So all of that is just like, that's all of where it's at. And it's really hard to just generically find
an audience.
Yeah. It used to just happen naturally. Like, I felt like it was a very natural progression. Anyway, I think that's happening. My point, if I could try to be brief, and fail at as usual, is that I think that's happening in a lot of avenues, not just forums. Yeah. It's like the entire way we interact with the internet is, and maybe we're just old, but I feel like we are, but I feel like in 2005 through 2012 ish, maybe even as late as 2015. I don't know. Around that decade of time, I feel like the way the internet worked, it like was at this head. It came to a head of like the way the internet had worked, and it was refined. And then it was like one day in like around 2015, boom, there's a shift.
Sure,
and now
forums are dead.
Hey man, forums are dead. You do Discord, you do Twitter, YouTube algorithm. No one knows how it works because, you know, AI learning is a motherfucker and no one can explain it. And suddenly, like, now everything's this weird ethereal thing. And it's like everything is both more accessible and impossibly inaccessible. And it's hard to make sense of. Anyway. Yep. There you go. That was my brief interruption.
No, you're right. And that all relates to like the content of a combo video or a tech video, because it's interrupting. It's disrupting the way that I learn games. And I'd almost say it's especially bad for me since I don't know how to play Smash. I can't find or appreciate a good combo video, and I think that the nature of Smash makes a combo video harder. Or just impossible same way.
Wait. So you're saying the fact that you can't find the right combo video makes it hard, or you're saying the fact that there isn't a thread associated with it? That's a complicating
factor, but also especially in Smash. Because like combos aren't real in Smash. Combos are just like your opinion or whatever.
Well, some are real, but sure. A lot aren't.
Okay. So like...
when people make a combo video in Smash, it's not all the real ones. It's all the quote-unquote opinion combos. DI, mix-ups, etc.
And that's the thing. So, like, if I looked up a Marvel combo video, I would be looking for something that's a bread and butter, something that I would go to and use every time I got a specific confirm. Or I'd be looking for, like, a confirm combo video. Like, shout-outs to Milky. Just put out a couple of UMVC3 Magneto jump height, super jump height confirm vids. Super helpful, super informative. But, like, that's a specific individual thing that I'm looking at that takes about 3 to 7 minutes to cover. But like in a Smash video, if I'm looking for Bayonetta combos, like the true stuff is maybe like 2 or 3 hits at specific percentages or whatever. And the rest is just like tech chases.
I think that's a lot more complicated issue than you're laying it out to be presently. I think your original point definitely does stand and is super valid, right? Like it is harder to find the things that are good. But I think in addition to that, so we'll say B is, I think you're looking for more than exists. And I think that's more of a problem of your lens than it is of the content itself. When I look at a character, I want to know what their actual real combos are. And this will transition into C, which is that a lot of times in Smash, the real combos are not flashy, therefore they're not in the combo video.
Right.
So that's like a very multifaceted issue that you just described. A, it's harder to find the things that you want. B, the things that you want are different because Smash is different. And C, the things that you want are not necessarily the flashiest thing ever because they're basic and true, and that isn't always what like people want to showcase.
Building blocks aren't exciting.
So I think some of those problems are the issue of the way the information is disseminated, which I think is your initial point. I think some of those problems are just you as a person, and then some of those problems are content creators being douchebags and prioritizing views over the integrity of the content, which is something I like to be very douchey about, because while I have things that do get a lot of views, I hate content that is made explicitly for the case of getting views and has like no real substance. To that point, I think what you really should do as a person, if I can address the B of this, is try to focus on those simple B and Bs, because that's really the same to me as like Street Fighter. To me, you personally, Alex, could make the same argument about Street Fighter and be just as annoyed, because the difference being, in Smash, the crazy impractical combos aren't really combos, and in Street Fighter, the crazy impractical combos, I mean, I guess they're technically true combos, but they're not true combos that you'd ever use. Either way, it's not really important to what you want. What you want is a simple B&B overview, which is usually like throw into one move. You know what I mean? Like jab lock into one move. That's it. But you're not helping yourself by playing Bayo either.
No,
because all the Bayo videos are going to be like a bunch of dumb fucking shit. Whereas like the Marth combos or whatever are just like, they're so much simpler. Whereas the Bayo ones are all going to be that way because she's fucking Bayo. So you're not helping yourself, but you're not wrong either. Yeah.
Okay, so here's the thing. Here's a funny situation from Street Fighter. You and I were talking about like the great combo videos. If I could plug your Book of Oni,
is that a combo video?
It is.
Thank you for the plug.
You want me to say it's a tutorial?
It's a character tutorial. It's a character tutorial.
That's all the same content to me. Combo video, reset video, tech video.
Man, I super disagree.
But like that's what I'm looking for. If you want me to change the topic title from combo video to tech vid,
if you look at an Oni combo video, if you Google Oni combo video, this is a huge, like I will die on this hill. So get ready to fight. And thank you for the props, just to be clear. But It's not a combo video. Combo videos. If you look up combo video right now, go into Google and type Oni tutorial. It'll be my video. I'm really cool. But then after you it'll be the number one result.
Very search engine optimized.
Yeah, but okay. But after you watch that and you think, wow, this is really great. Thanks, MetalMusicMan, for being such an excellent content creator. After you do that, type Oni combo video. And A, my video probably won't be nearly as high rated. B, when you watch the video, 90% of what is in an Oni combo video is impractical bullshit that doesn't fucking matter. It doesn't matter. Like 90% of it. It's just...
Oh, okay. Funny story. So the very first result, if you YouTube Oni combo video, literal string, is impractical Oni USF4 combo video.
Yes.
92,000 views.
Yes, exactly. So like that's my point. To me, a combo video is, and actually, to be honest with you, if I'm being your fighting game psychiatrist right now, everything you just said and built up is everything that is your condition and that is wrong with you as a player. Because you're like the combo videos are the tutorial. No, they're fucking not. They're totally different. They're just that to you because you would. This is like how you can. Spoiler alert to our audience members. Lex can jab lock no problem with Yoshi. He will do all the flashy Yoshi jab lock combos in Ultimate, but this motherfucker has been trying for 2 years to do a rising neutral air, and he just did it for the first time like yesterday.
I don't know that that's entirely fair, but
okay, there was some hyperbole there. Also, you laughed too high pitch and it cut you off, so he was laughing heartily at that comment. I want everyone to know. His microphone decided it wasn't worth hearing. But yeah, so I mean, yeah, there was hyperbole in that, but I think that is indicative of, in my opinion, your problems with some of your approach to some of these games, because you did say verbatim that a combo video was the same thing as a character tutorial. And I think a character tutorial is all about practicality and what is the most useful stuff to learn the fundamentals of the character. And the combo video is just pointless flash that has no purpose, or at best, if you already know all the fundamentals of the character, it's maybe a little extra flair or some useful niche things.
Yeah.
But it's not going to teach you how a character works or what you really should be doing. In fact, 90% of the time, it is the opposite of that. It is going to teach you a bunch of pointless shit that doesn't help you understand anything at all. I feel like we've made a breakthrough. We're coming to the end of our time. I'll see you next session.
No. Okay. So let me take you through my paces so that you can see this the same way that I do.
Okay.
And I fully understand that there is a non-zero, probably high percentage of this that is my personal fault or responsibility. But in my defense, if you look up information, like say that you're smitten with Jill, say that you just watched a Corky J match in Marvel 3. I'm throwing out a lot of words here. I'm sorry. You're watching Ultimate Marvel 3. Jill Valentine from the Resident Evil franchise is a character. It's her Resident Evil 5 incarnation, so she's like mobile, right? Mm-hmm. So pretend for a second that you just watch, I linked you Corky J and you're not you for 5 minutes, and you say, wow, neat resets. What a cool, aggressive play. Wow.
I enjoy it and am impressed visually by what I've seen.
Yes. And that's just like the way that Corky plays. You would totally get it. If you wanted to learn to play Jill and you looked for combo videos, like a few years ago, the MVC3 subreddit came up with updated missions where they tried to come up with 10 combos you should just probably know for every character. Totally practical. Jill doesn't get very much damage. But if you look at what Corky J was doing, he's doing some real weird shit, some really cool shit. And if you Google Jill combo video, you will probably find Hail Z. I don't know how they say their name. I don't know anything about them. But Hail Z makes these combo videos, and they are like they go through specific character interactions, like how Jill plays with 2 other characters. And it's all sort of different swaths of characters. You got your Shumagarath, your Shinko, your Virgil, of course, your Doctor Doom. Those are your staples, but also the weird guys too. And if you sit there and you study all of Hail Z's videos, you will learn how to play Jill. It's just a matter of like how much of a wizard you are at execution, and to a certain
extent, which you are, and that's why it works for you. sorry, please.
Yeah, but that's.
I wouldn't. My eyes would glaze over, and I would cease having the ability to pay attention and understand what was going on. Yeah. Oh, I could play Jill. I could play anyone if I actually understood their foundation.
You can't.
I can't understand her foundation.
Her foundation is weird. She's a weird character. She's got so many tools if you're going to play Jill successfully.
I feel like okay, you think she's as weird as like a Buki or something? Or she didn't look that weird to me when you sent me a couple of her things. So maybe I'm wrong about that. I don't know the character, but she looked more normal to me than I expected. She looked like she just dashed a lot. Yeah.
Yeah, okay, so she's got a 2/2 input.
Bubs has got a 2/2 input.
Whoa. Yeah, there you go.
Oh, she's stance character? Say no more. I don't want to play her. I don't want to play her. I don't want to play her. Okay.
Her you win. Into H is invulnerable, and it is jump cancelable. So you can like jump cancel back into the stance.
Okay. So it's the Fox Wave Shine jump cancel, basically. Sure.
Yeah. If you took a bit of Fox and distilled it into this character's movement and basic attack options. But like what I'm saying is the only way to learn anything is to look at Hail Z's combo videos, which are inherently just kind of flashy. And I think playing Marvel has given me that sickness that is like, I really can do anything as long as I commit to the time and have the patience to lab the shit out until it's like second nature. So like,
but that's not. You're not really being taught, though. I think that's a very significant difference in.
I'm learning
in like what the video's intention is. Are you though? You're okay. So you're basically wanting to study match videos, which I'm not gonna say that doesn't help you get better. That's obviously important and good, but like that is not a tutorial. A tutorial is like this is the difference between you paying someone to be a tutor and you just reading a lot of math textbooks and hoping eventually it sticks. You can learn either way, and you as a weird wizard are probably better at the totally ridiculous idea of just reading math textbooks until it sticks, which is absurd, and you will continue to not give yourself credit for whatever strange brain power you have to be able to do that. Someday, maybe, probably not. But you have a weird wizard power. That is it. You are a sponge that absorbs things. I'm gonna tell the story about you. I'm gonna tell the story. But anyway, those are both valid ways to learn. But one is not a tutorial. Period. It just isn't.
You don't find that learning the ways that you can confirm with Shumagarath by seeing them used in a combo video. That's not learning. That's not
a tutorial. It is learning. It is not a tutorial.
It's not a tutorial. Oh,
you are not being tutored.
That hard distinction.
No, that's an important one because whether you want a tutorial or not is kind of whatever, I guess. But like, if you're saying like these tutorials don't exist or these things are weird, I kind of think you might do well. Like, okay, comparatively, this is your Dunning-Kruger in this instance. You don't need a tutorial for Marvel characters or for Street Fighter characters. You do need a tutorial for Smash. And the problem is you don't have a tutorial that you feel like you can trust, which is a failure both of the content creators and of
YouTube as an algorithm.
And of YouTube as an algorithm, and of you being a fucking dumbass who insists on playing Bayonetta. Why do you keep doing this to yourself? Stop.
Because she's cool.
Stop doing this to yourself.
No, okay.
Learn one normal character first.
No,
please.
I was in my car last night driving home from work or something, and Defying Gravity, the song from Wicked, came on in the car, and I was like, yeah, fuck you, Will. I will defy gravity.
I love that. Like
nobody in all of
every
Oz.
Time that song comes on, that's just fuck you, Will.
Fuck
yeah,
you.
It's especially that's like the specific thought that you get. But yeah, you might not need a tutorial. That's fine, but like it isn't a tutorial though. You have to admit that. Like the way you're learning,
Sure.
and I think that's indicative of your pre-existing knowledge and more innate understanding of a traditional fighting game compared to Smash. And I also think, though, the other problem, I think I did ABC, we'll say D. I think in general, there are few good tutorials. People are really bad at teaching things.
They are. I'm bad at it. I found out from you.
We found out two things. I'll pin that because I am going to go into that story in a minute. But people are bad at teaching things in general. Fighting game stuff in particular, people are bad at teaching things. But I think that traditional fighting games have a larger collection of good proper tutorials than Smash does, because Smash is a more freeform game. It's harder for the average wannabe tutorial maker to think about how to present the information, whereas a fighting game is much more binary and linear, and there are more clear right and wrongs, and even with it being easier, people still generally suck at it. Okay, to the point of the story. First the story, then you as a teacher or something. So, all right, I feel like I may have told this on this podcast. I don't remember. If I have, I'm sorry. Enjoy the second telling. Maybe not. I don't remember. Okay, long story short, I exist in the internet and play Street Fighter randomly towards the end of Brawl online. And get good by myself. I go through all the phase of everything. I show up. With the Honda. Everyone's weird and toxic. I leave. I've definitely told this story. I leave for X amount of time. Oni comes out. I decide after X amount of time to dip my toe back in, even though I thought I was going to get punched or something multiple times because St. Louis FGC toxicity. I come back. I play Oni. No one knows what the fuck I'm doing. I instantly am like getting top 3 regular tournaments.
Yeah.
This is not just me jacking myself off. This is important context.
A historic.
This is important context. So, with the self-masturbatorial context out of the way, people are like, MetalMusicMan, what are you doing? What are you doing? What's that Oni character? How's that work? He's so crazy. You got the thing and it does the slash. And I'm like, no, man, he does the slash. You just block, you punish. It's no big deal. I got asked that so many times, and people were so bad at like dealing with it that like eventually I would just go to people and I would try to I would just be like, hey man, let me just cross up slash you 5 times. We're not gonna play right now. We're just gonna do like a little training session. Literally, I'm not gonna give you a 50-minute spiel like I am. Just let me cross up slash you like 5 or 10 times. You're just gonna block it and you're gonna try and punish it with like whatever character they were. I'd be like, press this button. Because the move, spoiler alert, the move was -12 on block. Okay? And it had 2 active frames, which if your mind is going to, well, you did it meaty on wake up and it was less punishable. Okay, well then it was -10. Fuck you. It's still at the meatiest meat it could meet. It was still -10.
Honda crouch jab is 4 frames.
Punishable as shit. If you're playing Smash and you're thinking -10 sounds safe, in Smash terms, it was -35. So that's not an exaggeration.
Translate that.
Yeah, if I'm translating it to Smash terms, the move was -35. So anyway, the move's -12 and it's at best -10 on block. And I'm like, just block it and hit the button. So I did this with all kinds of people, and everyone would just get annoyed. They'd like think I was like being a dick or something, and I would just be like, "No, man, like I swear to God, like this isn't like I'm not like trying to tell you you're bad. Like literally, just like I watch you punish like Shoryukens all the time. Shoryukens are like -20. You know, I mean, I get that that's like twice as negative, but like it's not like most things that are hard to punish in Street Fighter, but that are still punishable are like -4. Mm-hmm. Like -12 is real fucking negative. Like it's not a problem.
Honda's crouch jab is 4 frames, and that's like one of his fastest good buttons.
Yeah.
So if I get hit with something that's only as minus as 4/60ths of a second, 1/15th of a second, then I can still punish it.
Pretty much.
Like, fuck you. On reaction.
Yeah. At worst, a 2-frame punish is like the one that 90% of the time you'll get if you know the situation. Like, of a 2-frame punish with most characters. So this is, if you have a 3-frame jab, this is like a fucking, like a 9-frame punish.
Free.
Like really, really, really easy. So anyway, I would sit down and do this. So where I'm building to here is that I did this with like several people, and they're all like, I don't know. I'm just going to try to I just want to DP on reaction.
Challenge it.
I want to challenge it. I'm like, why? Just block it. That's what everybody did. So then I meet this fucking asshole, Professor Lex, and we're playing, and I shit on his dick super hard. Like, I just slash him to death. Everything's easy. It's the freest shit ever. He tells me, like, at the end of the match, he's like, hey, I think you, like, overheard me or something, telling other people things. And you were like, how do I do stuff with the slash? And I very, like, casually, because I was going on in the tournament, you were no longer relevant. I had conquered you, and
I was dead,
I was moving on. I was kind of, like, very, like, quickly like, oh, yeah, man, it's, like, -12. You just block and punish it. No big deal. It's free. And you're like, oh, cool, thanks. And you walked away, and you cease existing. So then I go through, I get whatever place I get in the tournament. I get 3rd or 2nd or whatever. And you're like, hey, man, you want to play some games? And we sit down, and you're just immediately a completely different player. I cross-slash you, and immediately like, hands, legs. And I'm like, oh, cool, you practiced the combo. Good job. I do it again. You're like, hands, legs. I'm like, oh, wow, man, you're really consistent with that. Cross-slash again. Hands, legs. I'm like, man, that good for you. You really listened. And then like I do like the really weird mix up that I didn't even do to you in our tournament set because I didn't need to do it. I do like some sort of EX Tatsu restand back medium punch air juggle into a cross up slash. And then you're like, oh yeah, block that EX hands too. I'm like, what the fuck is going on? Like, which is, it's weird because I'm like simultaneously shocked, but then like the only reason I'm shocked is because you're proving that it is as easy as I said that it was, but I've been so gaslit by all the other people trying to tell me that like, no man, you're so good. Like people, it's weird. People are they're really like hard up to, like they're really ready to, basically it's like their own ego of having lost to you favors bolstering you and making you think that you're better than you are because they would oftentimes rather pump you up as this impossible good person because you beat them rather than acknowledge that the thing that you beat them with is like a very dumb, bad gimmick that they shouldn't have lost to. But you were just I didn't even sit down with you. I was just like, oh yeah, it's -12. Just fucking jab hands and have a nice day. And then you just immediately, you were like, beep, bop, boop, need in my head. And then you didn't even need to practice it. It's like, I'm assuming you didn't sit down in training mode at any point.
No.
I would have needed to do that. You just heard the words and went, oh, cool. And immediately implemented it. And this is, so to my point, and we'll go into you teaching versus me teaching and me being a student versus you being a student. And, you are a wizard with that regard. You just implement. I don't understand it. It's very hard for me to implement things.
We had that the other day when we were playing with Jordan, and he was doing, who is it? With the whip from Castlevania. Richter
stuff?
He was doing he was doing Richter stuff. And he was like, yeah, why don't you just like ledge drop and then jump over and punish? And you were like, fuck if I know. And then I like did it. And you were like, oh yeah, that's right.
Yeah, you can just do things. Someone says things with words and then you just do that thing. I don't work that way. This is why I'm a good teacher. Okay. Because I am an awful student. I can only learn from like the very best, most well thought out, structured, fantastically demonstrated teaching things. And because I need to teach myself things, because fighting games are often
hard.
They're hard and you need to be self-sufficient to become good at them. I had to learn how to teach myself. I am an idiot. So that's why I became a good teacher. Lex tried to teach me some shit once, and Lex found out how much worse of a student I am than he is. I did as well. And so, like, the takeaway that we had that was hilarious was like, I think both that you are a worse teacher than I am, And also, I am a far worse student than you are.
Yep.
So the dynamic in reverse is awful for us because Lex is the best student ever. And because I have to learn how to teach myself, an idiot. I am an excellent teacher. Lex just learns the shit I say instantly. But then when we invert the dynamic and Lex is like, Will, do the air thing. Jump launch combo in Melty Blood. He just does it. Oh, no. The better example is when you were talking to me about, you were like, Mike Webb couldn't do this Marvel combo, Will. Come do this combo with me and show me how wrong he is. And I'm like, and I was like, Lex, I said this before we even sat down. I was like, Lex, I'm sure I'll be able to do whatever you're saying, but it's going to take me like hours of practice to be able to do it. And you were like, no, it's so easy, Will. You're so good. And then we sat down for probably about an hour. And I think I did the combo like one time. And
Lex, like 3/4.
And Lex, and Lex was just like, I mean, it wasn't bad, but like I could just tell that's not your experience because you just look at a thing and you go, ba-deep-ba-dop-ba-doop-ba-doop. That's the sequence of events. Press the buttons. My brain doesn't work that way. It just does not work that way. I have to fail in order to succeed.
Several times.
Yes. Hours of failure even before I ever remember anything or can be good at it. But you just hear something and implement it. You just have that superpower. I don't know how you have that, but you do. Anyway.
The dogs are losing their minds. Give me just a second. I'm sorry to interrupt. I'll be right back.
Okay. Welcome back, sir.
Hey, thank you.
So your dogs died or something?
No, they're just upset.
Right.
Jen is stomping up and down the stairs. She's ready to go to dinner. Yeah. So it's about that time.
All right. Well,
I'll be leaving shortly. No. Let's finish up. I've got like 5 minutes. Don't worry.
Okay. I was worried you were just going to keep going on and the podcast would never end.
Oh, yeah,
but
you know how that goes.
Yeah, I know how once you get going, you just can't.
It's because I'm so loud and loquacious.
Yes, it is.
The $10 word for today.
Anyway, I made all my points before you dogged. So what is your?
Sorry. I talked to Rex. Rex is new Rex.
New Rex. We have to preface that because we're old.
He's part of the Skullgirls contingency, which is thriving or whatever. But like the important takeaway here is that he was like, "Hey, Lex, can you sit in and watch me do Beowulf stuff for like 5 minutes?" And I was like, "Yeah." So I joined him and he was streaming, and I watched him, and he was like labbing out Beowulf setups and Beowulf combos because Skullgirls is more freeform than like Marvel, which is pretty freeform, but not as freeform as like Smash, which is just a mess of lies.
Smash is the jazziest fighting game, I think, for sure.
So he was doing stuff, and I was like, "Hey, why don't you try linking X into Y and then do 2, 3, 6, whatever?" And then he was like, "Oh, okay." And then he tried the thing, and I was like, "Oh, mate, wait, just delay the standing hard punch tick." And he's like, "Okay, oh, good. That's a good bread and butter. Now I have a good stable combo to go to." And I was like, "Oh, thank God. This is just so much easier than when I tried to teach Will how to do a basic flight combo."
I mean, he has like, okay, but this is a good point because this is how I feel about you with Smash though. Like, because
no, I'm an idiot when it comes to
we
Smash.
both have like a foundation for like Street Fighter. I don't have it for teams games or versus games or whatever you want to call them. And so it's much harder for you to do that. And it's the same way like when we were trying to teach Hylian Street Fighter 4, he's extremely good at Smash. He's a great player, but he just hasn't built that foundation for Street Fighter, especially like Street Fighter Beyond 2. And so there's just certain things that even though he might pick up something really quickly in another game, you that same person might not pick it up quickly in said game. This is why you need to play a normal character in Smash. And I know you hate it and you don't want to play Ryu, but like, dude, just think about like you've been running from playing like
fleeing
Fox or Falco or Marth or any kind of normal character. You've been running from it for literally 2 years now in Smash Ultimate. If you just took a couple weekends with me, like maybe 4 or 5 weekends tops, and just, even though you wouldn't like it, if you just got good, because the difference is if you got good with like a Fox or a Falco or whatever normal character, I don't know, it could be Bowser, I don't know, some somewhat normal Smash character that's not fucking Yoshi. Like Yoshi's not the weirdest character, but he's weird. There's certain fundamentals that just don't apply to him. If you did that, I think you would learn the rest of the game so fast. And like, but you just been trying to like, no, now I'm going to learn Bayonetta. Like, it's always a weirder fucking character every
jump cancel, double jump cancel.
You've got to build the foundation. And like, you don't have to do that in Street Fighter, because while you don't like Ryu, you understand Ryu because you understand fighting games, because you understand Ryu, because you understand fighting games, because you understand Ryu in a circle endlessly. You don't need to play Ryu to understand him, but you don't understand Falco. You don't understand Wolf.
It's a foreign language. Yeah.
Like, you need to learn one of those, like, spacey, swordy, Mario, some more normal character. Because once you do that, I'm telling you, dude, your fucking wizard brain mode is going to activate, your weird wizard brain, and you're going to, like, instantly be able to do all this crazy shit. You'll, like, become an Ice Climber player overnight because you understand... because you understand like that, but like you have never taken the time to build that fundamental. So I think that's like when you're talking about combo videos and tutorials and everything, like that foundation is what you're missing, and you have only searched for those combo videos in games that you have a foundation with. Whereas when you don't, you feel very lost. These are my thoughts.
Right, you're right. I agree.
All right.
Dude, real quick, before we slam the door shut on it, look up Desk combo videos.
Of course.
For Street Fighter 4. Look up who's your guy with a bunch of O's in his name?
Desk is the big one. Snooch with like, I don't even know how many O's. It's a lot of O's. Look up Snooch Street Fighter 4. You should find him. Dupless was a good one in Street Fighter 4. Who are your Marvel boys?
Isadelica, what's his face? Dante is so freeform and fucking weird that
Isadelica?
Isadelica. Isadelica. Okay. That they have like Isadelica combos for Dante. He's real flashy. Halsey's great. Look up Milky's got some really good helpful content recently, and he's like the flashiest Magneto player, or one of the flashiest Magneto players out there. So
got any Skullgirls folks?
Yeah, Skullgirls is weird because there's so many characters, and by characters I mean like combinations and permutations of characters. No idea. NCV has some really good Painwheel tech. There's a lot of good content in the Skullgirls community. It's just trying to find the specific character combination is less like centralized. Okay. Yeah.
All right. Well, this is a conversation that was sort of about combo videos and was also about me yelling at Lex and how much I wish he was good at Smash, as tends to happen.
Unfortunately. Yeah, I'll see what I can do. I'll see if I can, how long I can suffer to play Marth or whatever.
If you have a good character recommendation for Lex, hit him up on Twitter. And don't give him fucking Plant or fucking give him some like normal Smash character. Give him someone normal, because he needs to play a normal character. Hit him up on Twitter at Professor_Lex. All right. Lex has to make bread. This has been a podcast. I have been Metal Music Man.
And I've been Professor Lex.
And we will catch you guys later.
Godspeed.